Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this busy Thursday here in the nation's capital. With just hours before the deadline, Congress voted to avoid a shutdown. And while that's good news, the crisis for the Democratic Party remains. That's because President Biden's domestic agenda is on the line. Progressives in the House say they won't vote for the bipartisan infrastructure plan to spend $1 trillion to fix our nation's roads, rails, and bridges, unless a much bigger social safety net bill is passed at the same time. Now, that $3.5 trillion bill includes programs like child care, universal pre-K, and other initiatives. There is a joke here in Washington that creating legislation is like making sausage. And tonight, the White House press secretary points out it's messy. Right now, there's plenty of talk and no hint of a compromise. We're going to break down all the moving parts with our team, starting with CBS's Nikole Killion, who leads us off from the Capitol. Good evening, Nikole.
Good evening, Nora. And avoiding a government shutdown was the least of lawmakers' worries today, as they now deal with another major deadline to try to deliver on one of President Biden's key priorities.
The motion is adopted.
On the brink of a possible shutdown, the House and Senate passed a bill to keep the government open through December 3rd, sparing thousands of federal workers from being furloughed.
The last thing the American people need is for the government to grind to a halt.
Instead, intransigence over infrastructure threatened to stall President Biden's agenda.
The way the president sees it is that this is an ongoing discussion, an ongoing negotiation.
Hour by hour.
House Democrats spent the better part of the day trying to round up votes to make good on a $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill to pay for shovel-ready projects to repair roads, rails, and bridges.
I plan on moving forward in a positive way, and everybody has to think that this is the path we're on.
Progressives maintain their opposition to the measure until a larger social spending package that encompasses everything from climate to child care can get done in both chambers.
We are ready to do whatever we can to deliver the entirety of the president's agenda.
But they want to keep the price tag at $3.5 trillion. Butting heads with moderate senators like Arizona's Kyrsten Sinema and West Virginia's Joe Manchin, who says he won't go above 1.5, a number he says he's floated to the president and Democratic leaders.
What do you say to people who feel you and Senator Sinema are holding this whole thing up?
I'm not holding it. We only have 50 votes. Basically, take whatever we aren't able to come to agreement with today and take that on the campaign trail next year.
If the senator thinks electing more Democrats is how you get it done, then that is something he should state to the president, because this is the president's agenda.
This evening, Democratic aides are huddled with White House advisors to try to craft a compromise that will satisfy all sides. And if that happens, that could potentially pave the way for a vote on that smaller infrastructure package tonight. Nora?
Nikole Killion, thank you.